Hey everyone, it's Tony George. We're talking the 2023 U.S. Open at Los Angeles Country Club. Going to be giving you some tournament head-to-heads and some tournament top 20s here on Wednesday. And then, of course, on Thursday over at the website, we will start our daily head-to-heads. And what that means is, for those of you that don't understand golf, do you understand money? Because we're cashing out in these PGA tournaments, and I follow it as closely as I do any sport. Head-to-heads means one golfer against another golfer for the entire tournament. It's like betting NASCAR. You're betting one driver against another, and whoever finishes better, that's the winner of that matchup, and it's a money line pick. And so we're going to give you a couple of tournament head-to-heads, and we're going to give you, 4 or 5 top 20s. I don't get in the top 10s. I get in top 20s here. And then we're going to tell you two golfers to avoid that are very popular this week. We've cashed 8 of our last 11 tournaments in head-to-heads. We add them up at the end of the tournament. So 8 out of 11 of our last tournaments, including last week at the Canadian Open, we ended up with a winning tournament. So be sure to get over to Docs, take advantage of that free $60. Link in the description below, or on the website. It's up over in the left-hand corner. There's a tab up there that says free $60, and that's exactly what it is. It's a free $60. There's no strings and no hassles. So we're going to give you some of these picks we really like this week, and I think they're going to make you some money for free. I think we were 2-2 last week with our picks on our free play video for the golf. See if we can do a little better than that for you here, and we'll be winning daily over at the website as well. This is in Los Angeles. It's a link style course for, I guess I've previewed it online with drone footage of every hole. Obviously been watching a lot of Golf Channel, listening to some of the analysts over there during the week, and 7,400 yards long. The over and under on the final score is -8 for the tournament. So the USGA is in charge of this, not the PGA. The USGA sets, the United States Golf Association, they set up this course, and it's tricked out. The rough, if you miss the fairway, it is a severe penalty. A pro golfer, if he misses a fairway, probably 85% of the time is looking at bogey. They have a par 3 that's 290 yards long. I mean, most average golfers can hit the ball about, with their driver, 265, maybe 270 yards. Average Joes. Even guys with 6-7 handicaps. Telling you, it's tricked out. Greens are like putting on a granite countertop. They're going to be firm. They're going to be fast. You better have your game around the greens. You better be on with players that are highly ranked in shots gained on approach. Somebody that, not driving distance, but driving accuracy. There's a difference between those two stats. And guys that put it in the fairway, that can give themselves a chance at the green, And driver accuracy does not always correlate into hitting greens in regulation. They may not be a great iron player. Also, great scramblers around the green. Guys that can get it up and down when they miss the green. And there's a severe penalty here if you miss the green. You saw some of that if you watched the Canadian Open last week. That rough was very severe there, and it was very severe around the greens. You can expect that and then some with faster greens this week. So, that being said, let's get to some tournament head-to-heads. And people say, I really can't get these at my book. How do I word this? Go to Google and type in outlets for PGA Futures Betting. Okay? It's that simple. Global's got them all over the place. If you're fortunate enough to have Circa, here, I'm not a spokesperson for Circa, but in my opinion, them and Westgate are the two best books in town. Because they don't limit wagers, they'll gamble with you, and they got good odds, and they've got a lot of options. Unlike FanDuel and DraftKings. Especially in NASCAR. Just saying. So that being said, let's get to some tournament head-to-heads. And one that I really like is Tyrell Hatton against Cameron Young. Now, Cameron Young was the guy that challenged for the British Open last year, right down to the last hole. He can hit the ball a ton. Big, long play. It's a guy that can hit an 8-iron 200 yards, and he can hit his driver like 340. Got a lot of talent, but his game is not there this year. It's not there. Tyrrell Hatton has been on fire. Good golfer. He's been in the mix in some big tournaments this year. He was in the mix last week after one bad round and came back in round 4. He's a great golfer. I like his form right now. A tournament head-to-head, minus 130 over Cameron Young. Tyrrell Hatton, minus 130 over Cameron Young. Here's another one I liked, and I kind of got it reconfirmed, so I'm going to give a little credit to a friend of mine out here, and we're not best buddies, but a friend of mine who's on VSiN all the time, is a great handicapper / broadcaster / guy with great insights in a lot of different sports, Matt Yeomans. And one of his top picks is Jordan Spieth over Justin Thomas. In a tournament head-to-head, minus 135, Spieth over Thomas. Now, Spieth, this course is built for him, especially with his prowess around the greens. And he's done a lot better this year, shots gained on approach. His putting is always good. Thomas, who won the PGA last year at, where did he win that at? Southern Hills down in Tulsa? Who's a great golfer. Won a couple of majors. But his game is not there. It's just not there. It's not there. I think Spieth will have a good tournament. So we're going to take, and Matt Yeomans had given this out, and I had kind of had it circled. That just gave me confirmation because I respect his opinion. And by the way, again, I'm not a spokesperson for VSiN either. They never asked me to be on the air. I've only been in broadcasting 20 years, but if you're not tuning in to VSiN on a daily basis and watching various guys on there or getting some of their information on their website, vsin.com, you really need to. You can never stop learning in sports betting. Okay, so let's get to some top 20s. Now, a couple of golfers that I think you need to avoid this week is Rory McIlroy and Max Homa. And there's a lot of people talking about these guys. Rory McIlroy hadn't won a major in 9 years. The best major I've seen him play in quite some time was the British Open last year, and he blew that in the 4th round. He's blown a lot of tournaments in the 4th round. He blew the Canadian Open last week in the 4th round. I mean, the guy just can't close out a tournament anymore for whatever reason. And Max Homa, I think don't quote me, but I think he's got 5 tournament wins. The younger golfer, really good golfer, don't get me wrong. Good stick. However, his major appearances leave a lot to be desired. And by what I mean by majors is, for those of you who don't follow golf, U.S. Open, the Open Championship, which is the British Open. I'm old school, I call it the British Open. The Masters and the PGA Championship. Now, Max Homa is from California, and 4 out of his 5 tournaments he's won has been in the state of California. And in college, he shot a 61 on this course and owns the course record. Well, the course is not the same course he played 9 years ago when he was at Cal. There's been some changes. And when he shot a 61 there when playing in college, it wasn't set up for U.S. Open. Different animal now. A matter of fact, I got some notes here. He hasn't finished in the top 20 in any of the last 6 majors. I don't think he's finished inside the top 30. And he missed one cut in one of them. Some players are built for majors and not necessarily regular tour stops. Brooks Koepka, perfect example. He's built for majors. He just won one. He's got 5 of them. But regular tour events, And now he's on the Live Tour. But even before he left for Live, And I think of all the Live tournaments he's played in, he's only won one of those. And that was like the week before he won the PGA Championship. So, nonetheless, I'm not big on Homa here, regardless of his familiarity with the course, because there hasn't been a PGA Tour event played on this course in 75 years. So anybody playing has never seen this course in terms of a tournament setup. FYI, I'm sure a lot of players during the year, knowing this was going to be played, called in, set up a tee time, played the course. But again, the USGA now has gotten there and set this thing up and tricked it out. So either one of those guys, I'm not even interested in the top 20. Yeah, McIlroy, he'll probably be in the top 20 till Sunday. And again, he just completely implodes. He has. They got a lot of pressure on him. He was kind of the poster child and the spokesman for the PGA Tour when this Live thing happened, and he defended the PGA Tour. And then they turned around and basically screwed him and ended up taking the Saudi money anyway. After they chastised all the players that left for a year. So it's just a big mess in golf right now. I'm not going to get into the politics of that. But let's get with top 20s now, because there's two I'm going to avoid. A guy I've been riding almost every week on top 20s is Justin Rose. This course is built for him. He's top 20 plus 140. Another sharp bet out here in Vegas. I talked to a few guys in the golf handicapping world, and a lot of them like Siwoo Kim, top 20 plus 140 as well. So those are kind of plus 140, kind of a long shot. My favorite best bet for a top 20 in this tournament, this would be a full one unit play, would be Patrick Cantlay, minus 120 for a top 20. Another guy, obviously we talked about Jordan Spieth earlier, top 20 plus 110. Tyrrell Hatton, top 20 plus 150. If you're looking for a long shot best bet, it'd be Tyrrell Hatton, top 20 plus 150. Okay? And one other one here I like. Victor Hovland. Just won a tournament a couple weeks ago. Is always in the hunt in majors. He finished tied for 7th at the Masters and tied for 2nd at the PGA this year. So the first two tournaments that were on the schedule for as being majors this year, T7 and T2. And bear in mind last year, what was he, 3rd or 4th in the British Open at St. Andrews last year? He was in the hunt. He played, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he played with Roy McIlroy in the final group last year and finished, 3rd, 4th, top 5 for sure. The guy's got the game for this course. And he's minus 120. So he's like one of the biggest favorites besides Cantlay out of the group I just gave you for a top 20. And I just don't see how he's not in the mix here. So we'll recap. Rose, Spieth, Siwoo Kim, Cantlay, best bet. Hovland, best long shot at plus 150. And Victor Hovland, top 20, minus 120. Those are all top 20 finishes for the U.S. Open. We'll have daily head-to-heads over at DocSports.com starting Thursday. And be sure and drop by. Hey, don't like golf? Who cares? Like money? Get over to Docs. We'll be ready for you this weekend.